has had that Asol, some Corki, Katarina, an Echo for himself, so Huhi has kind of dove a little bit into the deep end, more so than usually in the first few days of the LCS, now here into week 2. And we'll see what Counterlogic bans first. The first ban phase, 3 for each, as we have Ryze and Rengar starting us off.
Yeah, and as you were saying with Huhi and having such a deep champion pool, it's something that he's always wanted to
show.
To bring, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is he's such a team player that he'll actually wait on having his pick selected, not so much for a counter pick, but because he wants to pull more bans. He's like, I'm okay playing my 4th or 5th or 6th best mid laner if we can get priority picks in other lanes. So sometimes they will actually pick it in the 4th slot, whereas you usually see it in that 5th slot.
Interesting as well, watching EU LCS today, hear how adamant Officio was that Olaf in the EU isn't something we see much, but it's been first ban here, first phase for blue side quite a few times in the NA-LCS, seeing that teams are playing that. Camille LeBlanc, the next one's out along with that MF from FlyQuest, and it is the Kazakhs lock-in here for Moon to start things off. Feeling pretty confident with his jungling lately, and the team behind him.
Absolutely. Moon is actually 4 for 5 in First Blood participations, about 80% there, which is something that we weren't expecting out of Moon because he was a really reserved player previously, didn't have a lot of early game pressure. Now they're giving him champions that allow him to carry the game. They're giving him opportunities with things like Kindred to even try stuff out. So it's good to see him on that Kazakhs, and we'll see what he has.
It's almost like you see that jungle pick up, and Hai is saying, all right, we're going to see the first few pitches. I'll give Huhi Corki the first game. That's the way it's going to work out, so he will have that matchup to go against. Smithy picks up Zyra for Afromu. Or may see an AD carry and support as well.
So Huhi also takes that mid laner quite early on. A lot of things still left up that you could pick into the Corki and do fairly well on. We'll see what they have up their sleeve, but could wait it for later on because you want that Malzahar. And because the Zyra picked up and the Misfortune off the table, that's really what you have to drop down to if you even want to be able to handle the Zyra during the laning phase.
Team Purple People Eater so far. FlyQuest keeping it color-coded. Ashe gets picked up, actually all the way down to 3rd there on the first phase of picks, so great initiation. Also a little bit of disengage coming in from CLG. And Stixxay has quite a bit of kill participation as an AD carry, and it comes a lot from that Ashe play and his arrows.
Yeah, that Ashe Zyra bottom lane here, bit of a throwback, but Elimination up against it. We'll see if he's able to handle that bottom lane. And Stixxay and Afromu have actually been doing quite well. They didn't get off on the right foot on their first day of play, but their second day actually was a big turnaround. Stixxay actually leads all AD carries for CSD at 10, being +9. But on the flip side, Altec is actually number 10 for CSD at 10 for AD carries at -11.6. So complete opposite side of the spectrums here for laning phase for this bottom lane here, and they pick their champions quite early on.
It's a good thing they have the Malzahar to kind of push back on Afromu and Stixxay, because Ashe Zyra is not a fun lane to get CS against in the first place. So Altec may be dropping a few more numbers on that. Second ban phase shows an Elise here for FlyQuest, and the Syndra Orianna Hai getting knocked down as that Corki first pick for Counterlogic Gaming means we will target Hai along with those spans.
So pinching a little bit of the top lane. Jace still available for Darshan, but the Maokai takeaway would make more sense since it is very favored by balls lately. And it'll knock him down on something like Nautilus.
Yeah, Maokai, Nautilus, Jace, what Darshan has seen. Maokai, Nautilus is what Balls has played. So there's another Nautilus play. 4 on Maokai, now 2 on Nautilus coming in for Balls in the top lane. Hai, a choice now. Where does he decide to go?
That does look like the Twisted Fate.
What does he decide to go, I should say.
Yeah, the Twisted Fate for Hai here, so he's able to actually get a little bit more roaming pressure on. He wasn't the person to play it last week. That was actually over on Froggen. So I don't think it'll be the rapid fire cannon build. We'll see if that does come through, though. It has been a little bit strange.
Deep gold cards.
So you can have a little bit more pressure on turrets, a little bit extra range. But it seemed like a Froggen special here, so I think he's going to be applying lane pressure, applying global pressure is the name of the game here for him. It's one of the reasons that Corki was so highly sought after was you don't have to take teleport, you get to take exhaust. Now you have to take the cleanse when you're up in this matchup here against the Twisted Fate.
When you're all up in that matchup.
All up in that matchup, which we hope for.
Get up in his grill. So Smithy does pick up the Lee Sin as we see rounding out a bit of their composition. He can go hard on that if he chooses to, but also respond if Moon gets anything crazy in his first blood participation to make that go through the roof. 30 seconds left here as the teams talk about what's going to happen in the early game and what are they going to do towards the late game. Looking at these compositions, what are you kind of expecting to see from Fly, knowing they kind of wait for Hai at 6?
Yeah, it's definitely for Moon to start getting things off the ground. Good thing is he has gank assistance in all of his lanes that will provide him hard CC. Maybe that mid lane, though, that he starts to visit quite early on, because Hai, top of the damage charts right now, top of the damage share charts for his team. So why not free up that mid laner who is your shot caller? And it's always easier to shot call when your lane is ahead, with better grasp of the game. And it's a Twisted Fate. You free up the Twisted Fate, you give him lane priority, you take that middle turret, don't lose your own. You have the entire map, and it's completely your oyster at that point.
And CLG has a good amount of comfort picks in the Corki, the Ashe, the Maokai top. I feel like if they got out of laning phase nice and easy, they can go with a great fighting mid game and then take it too high. Won't even be able to teleport around the map. He'll be trying to find the 5 of CLG. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready as we head into game. We're starting off week 2 here of the NALCS. FlyQuest versus Counter Logic Gaming, about to get on the rift. We're about to see if all these expectations, speculations, and theories are right about the NALCS. FlyQuest now at the top is CLG, 1-1, looks to climb in the standings.
Yeah, and you're talking about expectations. FlyQuest 2-0, exceeding a lot of expectations, but also commenting that there isn't any pressure on them right now.
Nope.
They came back in. Power rankings for most people had them at 10th or 9th, and boom, top of the standings right now. A great start for them. If they can take down CLG, they start clawing their way up towards most people's playoff brackets.
I feel like there's always that stress as a team when you come in, say CLG or, you know, TSM, even with a small change to kind of replicate what you did. So that pressure's there. Yeah, High and the rest of the guys have been in, but like you said, coming in, no pressure. Everything's very fun. You're just going for plays, and we've seen that in the calls once more with High, and also in the play that comes from FlyQuest. So with smiles on their face, they head into another game here versus Counter Logic Gaming. Bot lane, I think to be a little bit in favor of Stixay and Aframu here with a good pickup. Well, keep an eye on it, just as we will with mid and top.
So Lemon actually just moved in, made sure that he got all of those seeds out, so that the Zyra setup doesn't pain as much. Altec will get a little bit of poke and miss it. You were talking about how FlyQuest, how they'll start to play, and then comment a little bit on Counter Logic Gaming. I do want to go back to that because it's a double AD composition that has, or double marksman composition that has the range that when you get to turrets, you can siege them down quite easily. And the Zyra hasn't really been that popular since people have been going back, or wasn't popular back in the day when people were running double marksman compositions. It was more of the karma. We were seeing more of these utility things like Braum that could defend in sieges, but this gives you so much disengaged potential that the composition just becomes so potent if it gets out of the early game and gets to a nice mid game.
Be able to get everything you want out of those engages or disengages to catch your enemy off guard. We might have to find Fly getting in on these pickoffs if High can do very well. So Aframu is going to have a lot of vision and be everywhere on the map to really stop these engages. Not too bad to start things off. High can't really get to the CS just yet. He's letting it get pushed at him. 8-3 though as he slowly farms out that mid lane.
Yeah, canceled an auto attack onto Huhi and missed out a little bit on a trade where he maybe have been able to sneak in another one. Right there, gold card instead of a blue card. Just a little bit off, and Lemon just applying the pressure, The Voidlings, they move a lot faster when the person has the Malefic Visions on them.
There we go, ward in for Aframu, so he knows that's coming. Great brush control here from Lemonation to start off a bit of the early game and shut down the Ashe Zyra.
Here comes Moon.
Good vision control to the mid lane. That fog of war, you couldn't even see Moon coming in. The spikes come out, and first blood to Moon. He chalks up another one.
And High was kind of playing like he's a wounded lamb there, playing a little bit further back. You see the CS differential. He was missing a decent amount, but also allowing the wave to shove towards him and allowing Corki to outshove him in the early game. Moon comes up, another first blood for this guy. He's now 5 for 6 in his first blood participation. He's actually kicking butt.
You're taking a breather for another 20 or so seconds, which just happened, but you're not expecting Moon that early. Beautifully done.
Especially from that side of the jungle, too.
Yeah, right.
Because he cleared his blue side, which is so awkward for Kha'Zix to do, and then he came in and got the gank. Now he's at his red. So he hadn't even done his red buff then, and he got the flash, he got the cleanse, and High and Moon both have theirs. I expect a repeat gank at some point.
Ooh. High actually almost just walking at Xmithy to say, all right, we'll be in the minions after we fight. But now Xmithy tries something mid. There's more pressure bot as Aframu's flash was just blown, so small things in favor of Fly here. We'll see if CLG can recoup. It shouldn't be too hard. Xmithy usually gets his pathing through the jungle right back on par and right back up with the other jungler.
Xmithy, he's been kind of middle of the pack so far. There have been some really outstanding junglers this split in the first week. And then there were some who, were on the receiving half of people's great performances. But Xmithy, he's been still middle of the pack right now. Hasn't been really exceptional. So this is kind of his breakout week if he wants to move away from that and start defining himself as a jungler in the NALCS that should be near the top with the likes of Chaser, who's already really high up there, and Acadian, who had a great rookie showing.
I wonder if there's going to be some, I was going to say top love, but bottom's getting a hail of arrows to Alpha Out of base, Moon buys a Caulfield, heads towards a cleared top side of the jungle, so he may be waiting to get a counter gank here on something Xmithie may come to play. He's hovering.
Yeah, went for the damage. Sometimes you'll see mobility boots first out of a fed Kha'Zix so he can roam around the map.
Yeah.
But this is for the damage, for the skirmishes, for the fights here. And Darshan, Balls is out of mana. He did see him, though.
Ping, ping? No ping.
Yeah, no, he saw him.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he walked back a little bit. You're right.
Yep, pretend you're weak and have Moon counter gank.
Same thing. Now he plays the high game. I'm weak, I'm weak.
Now Balls should walk up, trade a little bit. Darshan's making it look too juicy, though.
Balls is keeping attacking. Here comes Moon. The Caulfield's damage coming through. Dragline just missing. The burn is on. Xmithie safeguard to a minion, but no more shield for that one. And he goes down.
Another one for Moon. 2-0 at the start. Now High is playing a little far up with Aphromoo roaming here.
Shot comes up. Bit of a back and forth. You can see CLG not scrambling would be the wrong word that came to mind there, but they're trying to get back into it and not be so reactive, at least be a little proactive here. And Fly's doing a great job of staying on top of the ball.
Yeah, and top lane, it was really good. Darshan was making it look a little bit too juicy, but it was something that was set up. Xmithie got spotted, so that's something when they look back at it, be like, okay, I was spotted when I went top, so the counter gank did come through, and it was quite obvious there. But Moon just barely getting it off of the red buff.
That hot foot.
Oh, whew. Helps him shut out the top wave, too, so it doesn't freeze, and he can have it bounce back towards him. Both top laners did blow their teleport to return to the top lane, so no TP plays onto the bottom side of the map for a little bit.
So Darshan Seal on his way back out. A little damage for Xmithie. You can see he can't really put an item together just yet, as he was put back there, forced to still get what he could in his recipe. BF sword for Stixxay, all tech stacking up that tier along with his 2 swords.
Yeah, we don't always see the tier build from Varus. We've seen things like the Essence Reaver, we've seen early builds, but hold on, Twisted Fate is 6, and High is coming towards the bottom side of the map. Here comes the gank.
He's got a little love for Moon as well. It'll take Moon a while to get there. They fire on Aphromoo. They know his flash is down from before. Great timing.
Wow, High had barely enough mana to even do that. Use the gate and lock in the card to come through. So just barely enough to catches Aphromoo without his flash, and he has to burn his exhaust as well.
That is a whole lot of damage. Feeling the pain through the screen. Moon getting caught up in the slalom of the minion. One last attack, goes down valiantly, but that's a 3-kill pickup for Xmithie and the team.
Oh, it's a big one too, because 3-0 on this Kha'Zix, 3-1 now. As a good start for Moon, absolutely insane that he was able to just lock in this Kha'Zix. They had the trust in him, and that's the thing, is people have had so much criticism of Moon, saying this guy actually sucks, like he's not that great. We've seen him split and split again, but now he's on a team. He told me he doesn't feel nerves anymore. They're actually giving him so much support that he feels empowered to make these plays, to go with his gut. He was a player who was just climbing up solo queue ladder so quickly, but he never showed those results on stage. Now, this might be the split that Moon actually was a big pickup for FlyQuest.
And that's a very big turnaround, especially for, as you said, a player that was almost looked down upon so much to be given such a chance as well, then the resources. And he even said in the Kindred game, I knew that was a bad idea, but my team was behind me, and I kind of wanted to do it. Like, how often do you even hear that in a game if it's not a composition created around kind of an entire thing going into Champ Select? Not in Champ Select, we're going to decide to do this now.
Yeah, how much do you hear that? And then also feel okay to take risks again. But hold on, speaking of taking risks, Elimination off on the left side here has the ultimate, not yet. He's close to leveling up. He's just trying to make sure that nobody roams in. Still good by Malzahar's to sit on the side, because if somebody face checks the brush, you use the silence, they can't flash away, they can't really get away. You E, you W, make sure that you can actually W-E. So your E actually has a quarter-second cast. So if you do it the opposite way, and you E first and then you W, you actually lock yourself out for a quick second, whereas if you W-E, your Voidlings will already be on them and start multiplying very quickly.
Good tips and tricks.
Small things.
If it wasn't already easy enough to work.
Yeah, you have to point on people and click your ultimate for it to work, by the way. Anyway, speaking of pointing and clicking on ultimates, here comes Balls.
We're going for a swim. To the deeps. The depth charge come out maybe. He's going to try to stop. Oh, all right. Turns left. Gets it. I like that. Choice by Huhi. Also is able to go for his blue after this one. So does not decide to go down. Moon would have been able to catch him there on that, which just shows that Fly has been everywhere. Moon in the bot side to top, helping high and middle when he can, but also getting him some kills for himself, as we saw in the mid lane. Did go down for that attempt, so we're seeing what that impact now has on Xmithie. He has yet to fire out of the jungle once again. He's been trying to repair these lanes as they go. Still good in CSing. That's what we kind of said for CLG. Coming out of Champion Select, they can get out of these lanes quite nicely. This team comp is going to be able to fight really well.
Yeah, they'll be able to fight and actually siege quite well. And they have CS leads in pretty much all of their lanes. That top lane is not going well at all for Balls. Darshan is just destroying it right now. But hold on. Base check.
Only once a game. He'll know now. It's a trial and error thing.
You always think it's once a game, and then you want to do it again. You can't be in there this time.
Is the stove hot? Let me touch it again.
Yeah, somebody warns you, the plate is hot. I'll tell you how hot it is, mister.
Wet paint, don't touch. Yeah. So the action slowing down just a little bit. I thought it would actually take off. Moon coming out. The kill is kind of reserved his attacks. Or put them on reserve, I should say. Even after he finishes skirmishes. Saber looking for the gold. The blue comes up. I guess it was not going to be an attack. So things are calming down. 16.2 to 15.9. Nobody's really grabbed too much. Even 4 kills now to Fly in the early game. CLG's been biting back with lane dominance.
And this isn't really uncharacteristic for FlyQuest. I was looking at their overall CS differential at 15 minutes. So how much ahead or behind they are at 15 minutes as a team. They actually average down 40 CS at 15 minutes across all of their lanes. So this is not a team that's known for CSing well, but their macro game is where they actually close it out. They have the lowest average game time overall in wins and losses for FlyQuest, and considering they're 2-0, you know that they've won a lot more than they've actually lost so far. So they close games quite quickly, but it's that mid game. It's that explosive mid game for FlyQuest, not the laning phase.
And I think that may show even more here because CLG, you know, TSM, those teams that Dash and Jet were talking about in the beginning are the teams that are hesitating in the mid game. We're seeing have trouble close. Some of the longest games going to CLG here in the NALCS at the start of the spring split. So, spring.
Yeah, hold on top lane though. Great rotation.
Balls been down in CS, now he might go down altogether, and it's gonna be 4-on-1 as they head to the top lane. He's like, I didn't get the phone call, but I'll start roaming.
Yeah, we always knew Counter Logic Gaming for their lane swaps, for their rotational play, and the Coach 6 actually helping them out with that, giving them timers. This was a perfectly timed top lane rotation. You don't see this normally until the bottom lane turret has fallen, but they weren't winning the bottom lane hard enough. It looked like it was a siege that wasn't going to work out. It wasn't scouted by FlyQuest, and then it's absolutely punished with 4 people. They get the tempo advantage. It might be a 2-for-1 turret trade here because they're actually not going to get this bottom one fast enough to really push another here, whereas this one going down so quickly.
Already half. Kuhi as well kind of backed up, so he didn't get taken down in mid. They didn't know where he was. That slowed down the mid take. They're not going to be able to get that, and then Fly goes down now for the Dragon after seeing that second turret in the top side go down. So great moves by CLG, like you said. They just needed a moment where they could get in front of the rotations with the lead they had in the lanes.
And they're going to try to make a play on the mid lane here, try to zone him off, get a little bit of damage onto this mid turret, and eventually take this one down here. Now this top lane can be pretty much frozen forever by Balls if he wants to just keep it backwards, which is really good because High can make a play and just chase people down in the top lane if they decide to actually have it push in onto them. But the problem with having the wave pushed in onto you, and this is kind of the catch-22 if you're playing against a really good team, is they can just make plays elsewhere, and you have to blow your teleport, and then you're down a teleport advantage. So top lane tanks usually just want to shove into each other over and over again, and that's what they will call priority, is whoever just gets the wave to the turret, and they can roam as a top laner.
Yep. Nice trade-off. It's good that Fly was able to get the Mountain Drake. Going over to double AD would only help CLG more to crush and siege these turrets down now that they want to break the lanes. Roaming in numbers, though, does not give Fly High a chance with the rest of the team to get a kill. Maybe into the top lane, but we did just see Balls back up. 133 to 97 in that lane. Not too bad in the mid. CLG Huhi versus FlyQuest High has been pretty even matchup from what we may have thought.
Yeah, especially since High's been getting some attention here.
Yeah, exactly.
0-2 at the very beginning of the game. He's been getting kind of picked on here, but he's still hitting pretty. He's still doing all right. Just hasn't had the attention. They've been giving it to the side lanes now.
The Triforce is ready, so it may work off something here.
And that might give him a little more attention. Once you have that Trinity Force completed, sieging in the mid lane against a Twisted Fate isn't always the greatest thing, because eventually you have to deal with him wave clearing over and over again. But if you can get to these turrets, the double AD or double marksman composition will definitely function a lot better now. And they're just laying down something for the minions to hit a little bit, but it'll probably fade away after a few hits. There you go.
Wild card wave clear. Nice deep wards here coming in from CLG. You see all over the Wolf camping behind, so they know if anything else is coming as they head towards the top side if they want it.
Make it look juicy, and then go for the gank.
A little far away, and they're still able to get him. Gold card on a Stixxay. That's the flash. That's the heal. He still goes down. Aframu follows as he tries to save his bot. But that's not going to happen. 6-2 here as we come up on 15 minutes.
Yep, and if you're shoving that top wave, you always have to worry about that twisted fate. So as soon as you start walking up, trying to lay a plan, got to keep that in mind. So it looked like a little bit of a miscall there from Aframu to try and gank that top lane when they didn't have control of mid. They weren't pressuring the twisted fate in far enough, and Hai gets another great gank off.
And it seems like that's exactly what CLG had warded for. It was staying down by the walls. He would have ran out of the gate and base. Twisted Fate to top lane, but it was right in the middle of the jungle. Good pickup by FlyQuest, and CLG gets another turret though, so they are just picking up gold all across the map for these fights.
Yep, the Trinity Force going to do work. This pink ward here is just to make sure that they can't see
Exactly.
where Hai is. You saw the ward debris over the wall as well, so it may have cleared out one previously. And yeah, they just use everything to lock up Stixxay there. The exhaust comes through, the heal, the flash from Stixxay. The ultimate from Lemonation wasn't really like going to do too much because you thought the Zyra ulti was going to interrupt it, but it actually worked out perfectly because it kept him in place just long enough for another rotation of the gold card to come through.
So 2 of these kills now onto Lemonation. It's good about a good bit of gold. His KDA is already through the roof as usual. He keeps himself alive and always is participating and somehow KSing, but kill securing is what you want to say.
The theme of this game is make it look juicy, make it look like something you want to gain.
Make it look, all right,
That's
Zyrene. Stixxay looks pretty juicy. He goes down playing a little Lucy, and now it's Aframu. We're gonna be trimming the plants here. He goes down, they just came back up, so they're gonna go ahead and window shop once more.
Man, that's so clever. You just gotta make these kills look like they're easy to get, and I think that's a little bit of Hai there talking, and even when they're just practicing on these side lanes and you can see Hai's like, all right, just bait it. Walk backwards a little bit, push up, make it look like you're playing dumb. Because that's the thing, is you look at the enemy and you're like, God, this guy just pushed up too much. He's getting greedy for this turret damage. And then it's like, nope, actually, I tried to make it look so good that you couldn't resist the gank here. Because if you don't gank them, they just get turret damage. So it's actually a really good scenario here where you have to just go, okay, that's not a good play to make. He's probably in that bush. I can't know for sure. So you have to go somewhere else. But if you go somewhere else, you just like let him there so just like throw cards at the turret and shove in.
I feel like that's the rule of thumb you always play with though, is somebody's in that brush.
Yeah.
You spawn 4 seconds in, somebody's in the brush outside your base.
Yeah, it's like blackjack.
That's how you play.
It's like blackjack. That face down card, always a 10.
It's always
a 10, right?
Don't hit. Don't take a chance.
And then it's the right play there though. So they try to make a play up top. They don't have the reinforcement because the teleport from Darshan actually gets canceled. Balls does come through to help finish up that kill, but if Darshan, it was a more proactive play where they knew their top laner was going to be involved, you can make it a 3-on-3. Darshan arrives a little bit earlier, see what happens in that scenario.
So we're up to about 17 minutes now. Smithy has gotten himself to a point where he's basically on par-ish with Moon. Still be pretty interesting if they were to meet in the jungle, but he had a rough early game watching his mid go down, trying to help top and watching Darshan get hit up, but able to put a little back on the board for his team, so it feels good. It even feels better here as Moon comes over the wall. Exhausted, so he couldn't get the hit off, but they still get Stixxay down. Moon gets out with a sliver of health here, who he is just going to live as Aframu goes body side to that little minion. And they may be losing mid-turret here. Balls tanks up the first few shots, actually still tanking on accident, and they'll be able to clear the minions on CLG's side, but FlyQuest looking to activate and take down some of these outer turrets here to get inside CLG's jungle. Yeah,
they have a little bit of time before the Corki actually comes out of base. He does pick up a package though, so he's going to rush straight down, and now FlyQuest know, okay, Hai needs to back. He doesn't have any way to get to Dragon quickly, and they want to defend the Drake, but they have to back off because they won't have the numbers for a little bit longer here as everybody takes some backs, buys some items, and Zonius comes through for Hai as well.
4-0 and 3. 3-1 and 3. Thanks to Moon. His only death going to Xmithy when he was taking down Huhi in the mid lane. Yeah. So we're going to have to see where that power comes from. We saw Hai hit up Stixxay with, I think, Moon or even Lemonation. It only took a few hits for him to go down. So things are getting scary. Might see some Quicksilver sashes soon.
It's an Ocean Drake, so you can give it up if you are FlyQuest. It's not a huge deal. So they are going to let it go over to CLG. And the next Drake that will be spawning, also an Ocean Drake. So not a lot of pressure on these teams just yet to contest it, whereas that Mountain Drake going over to Fly will help them out very much so, especially since Hai, he kind of has the hybrid build here where he can enter team fights in Zonias, or he can split push and just use the Lich Bane to kill these turrets. And we'll see how much damage he does here as he tries to pick a fight with Lemon.
Very nicely done. There's no teleport to be had by Fly. They go to CLG's teleport, hopefully able to take down the tree. I don't think they brought a sharp enough axe, though. The Twisted Fate Gate comes out. Moon's gonna come in. He'll be able to chop him down. We see another hit coming in. He going on to Altec. He's able to back up. Knife depth charge from Balls. I don't think anybody's gonna be here to help him. He has just been the meat shield. Flashes out nicely, and I guess he doesn't need any help. The team does scramble up the river. They're all about to join now in mid, and it looks like CLG may have to back.
Yeah, CLG did the right move there by throwing an arrow out and trying to at least catch somebody in the mid lane, but it went a little bit wide, didn't make contact, but they kept continuing, trying to actually get something out of it. But the only tier 1 turret that they have left is that bot lane turret where that gank happened. So they aren't actually covering a place where they could get something back for what just happened to Darshan. But Darshan, on plus side, getting quite tanky, so it took a long time, a lot of resources to kill him there. So Elimination gonna be down in exhaust for a bit, and High doesn't have that ultimate.
So what is allowing now Fly to kind of do this? We thought CLG was coming back. They kind of evened it out, and then boom, FlyQuest once again. Take turret, take a fight, and get out safe.
It's the Twisted Fate pressure that you have, but also the fact that they have a really good composition for picking people off. The Kha'Zix just does so much damage to isolated targets, so when you start split pushing with High, or when you have High off in a side brush, it's very difficult to answer because pretty much anybody could be there because they've been pushing so far forward the entire time. It's hard to get wards in their territory, so you have to play defensive. The only weakness is really, if they are splitting, it's kind of easy to kill the other members. Like you saw there, the Ash Arrow, if it made contact onto Altec,
right,
what's that fight look like? It's definitely a lot different. But that hasn't been a problem here. Sometimes you'll see people run Karma or run a Sivir when they're running a 1-3-1 composition so that their three members have some type of movement speed increase. They don't have that here for FlyQuest, but on the flip side, CLG, their engage tools are the Ash Arrow. Your Maokai is probably going to be splitting and looking for a teleport, or if Xmithie can get a really good kickback, or somebody's like really out of position for a grasping root. So they aren't really reliable, and they aren't really part of your 3-man unit, except for that Ash Arrow that I would say is probably the one they're looking for most here.
Trying to keep themselves backed off here. So much poke coming through from the piercing arrows, the wild cards, and even Moon's going to be able to start shooting out the Void Spike soon. Just slowly protecting this one. Not for much longer. Blow that one down.
Watch out!
Oh, the Zanya's up. Grasping Root as well goes through. That's all right. Stranglethorns is able to pretty much disengage everything. Darshan may want the fight. The team calls him off. A bit of a hesitation there from both. But CLG says, we're actually all right with that. We don't have much to get, even if we do win this fight. Take a breather.
Oh, make it look juicy. The turret, once again. It's like, hey, you got 33 HP. One more hit there. Great reaction by High to use the Zanyas. But you could have seen that coming. They didn't see Darshan in the bottom lane anymore. He'd actually pushed off to the side, so Ball's not calling that Darshan could be there right then. And High not respecting the arrow and that it could come out, and that's what they're trying to use to actually make these picks. So Counterlodge Gaming do get a little bit back there.
Right, picking up resource in the way of farm very well. 230 for Darshan, 217 here for Huhi, helping to complete those items. There's one of the Quicksilver Sashes, so they can start playing with a bit of their own trickery in these baits if it really comes down to it. A whole lot of mind games here coming in with all the crowd control in this game, and really a lot of the squishy people that are doing all the initiating. We haven't seen Balls and Darshan really being the ones to get in these fights. It's, hey, look, it's High, or Altec's by himself, and now the fight starts.
Yeah, it's a lot of picks, and the tanks aren't involved too heavily just yet. You can see just by like CLG score lines, the bottom half of the map has been getting picked, and then the top half of the map for
basically
for Fly, and actually I guess the bottom half in the jungle is involved too. Is pretty much all the ones who are doing the pick. So if you're sectioned off and you're by yourself against this Fly composition, then you're gonna have a bad time.
Coming up on a 25-minute mark in just a bit. Good pace to the game so far. Teams are definitely tempered a little bit as we see the core items being completed. Another needlessly large rod here for High coming in. The rest of the items are on the board.
Yeah, 2 QSSs for Counterlodge Gaming, one for Huhi and one for Darshan. And then the Black Cleaver finally completed for Moon. He went for a little bit of a detour. We'll see the Black Cleaver for the 20% CDR and the reduced cooldown on the Q from the evolution, so that you just massacre things like Baron and Drake very quickly. But got the Hex Drinker, made sure that he doesn't get blown up by somebody like Huhi or Afromu, who is one of his biggest threats, because their roots and their CC, primarily magic damage. So if you're getting caught by one, you're probably going to take a load of magic damage afterwards. I will say, commenting on physical damage here, that Altec's build a little bit different because it's back to the lethality, it's back to the armor penetration, the cooldown reduction, and the large mana pool here. Instead of an Essence Reaper, we've seen things like the 100% crit Varus, because we changed his passive so that it has your bonus attack speed actually just helps you so much. You kill a minion, you kill a champion, you actually get more bonus attack speed based on your bonus attack speed you've already purchased. So people were buying Rune Ants for team fights, for applying more Blighted Quiver stacks. This is really just poke-centric build. This is like Varus before last split, where he didn't have that buff. He didn't actually like things with attack speed on him, and he just wanted flat attack damage.
It's actually very subtle. Just that glow on his bow that you see when you have it, but oh, so much it does. Fight coming in, quirky package in, Huki doing his best Talia impression. The package takes him too far, but isn't enough for the team.
Stixxay.
Moon very low, Stixxay in the back, and High has to go in. The rest of the team follows, and CLG is backing up with Darshan on the front line. High, gold card him. Gotta watch Xmithie on the backside. A good tag onto High. He's gonna let the Resonating Strike wear off in the Zanyas. Goes in for a cripple. Stopped up by the gold card. High walks it out. He's still alive. Aframu finally gets tagged as Lemonation is throwing out the autos. And somehow, Fly walks this out to keep the lowest members alive. And now they're still chasing Counterlogic Gaming. The blast cone over the wall. Resonating Strike dodge, I should say Sonic Wave. But now they're onto him with the Twisted Advance. High bites off more than he can chew. Altec and the rest of the team are in. Stixxay tries to rejoin the fight. No ranges from the outside, just the autos. Here's the kill from Xmithie, a triple for him, and now they have to tear through the entire suit of balls, and they are going to get down to the middle. It took 500 licks to get to the middle of that Tootsie Pop, and CLG comes out on top.
No cheating either, no biting on that one. Still, they're gonna go straight for this Ocean Drake, pick that one up, and now it'll be 2 here for Counterlogic Gaming, as Moon's just gonna go to the top side of his map and just clear the rest of his jungle out there. They couldn't get to Stixxay. Stixxay had a very crucial exhaust from Aframu onto High that stopped him from dying, and then he played perfectly there. Your AD carry, if you can keep them alive the entire fight and they survive, ADC 2017, it's actually a thing here if you give them defense. Fuhi dives way too far in, gets obliterated. Stixxay has an Nautilus ultimate on him, but then the exhaust comes down onto High, and High can't finish him off. And then the kite backwards. They're out of engage tools here. High barely has any mana left, and he has to use it on Darshan, who is so tanky. And it's a 4-on-4, but Stixxay dodges the arrow crucially. Hook hits onto Aframu, but then gets picked up by Elimination Auto. High picks up a whole bunch of Honey Fruit, and this is where they should have just stopped. So it's a 4-on-3. You walk away with superior numbers, but they tried to get even more. High goes over, dodges, so it looks good, but Darshan, of course, he's gonna dodge it. Now you don't have enough damage, and the base damage is enough to just take him out there. And then the Malzahar was already low. Altec gets hit up by Xmithie, and then he gets dropped, and Flash was still available for Stixxay. So Stixxay, that entire time that he had pressure on him, didn't have to use Flash to get away. So big play there for Counterlogic Gaming to get back in. And Stixxay, I mean, gotta hand it to him that he did his damnedest to survive, and it paid off.
And the whole team, they're putting on their headbands. Look at this inventory. Quicksilver, I want to say headbands for everybody.
I like that. It's a sash, but like, there's no rules of where you're gonna wear that sash. Be on your head. Do whatever you want with it. So yeah, they're all gonna put it on their head. They have their warrior headbands on. But Xmithie, this guy's playing like a warrior right now. 5-1-2, didn't have the greatest of starts, got counter ganked. And now, great Resonating Strike to help pick up the kill there and reach out. And
eyes are on a guy like this, especially when he gets kind of his champion, right? The Lee Sin.
Yeah,
who's in that best Lee Sin NA tournament towards the top. So
that's true.
Come on.
It's true. You don't always think of Xmithie and think this guy's a mechanical god, or he's a Lee Sin god. He's very tactical on his Lee Sin.
Right.
And he knows how to play the team fights.
That's because he crushed like Nasus for how many seasons, right? Back in the day. You're like, Xmithie's just a big beast. But no, this guy is mechanically proficient, and he's looking to make it happen. Is it going to be, they got double, they got an arrow and a kick. A nice pull out there. Quicksilver Sash goes down by Xmithie. He gets himself to safety, but still goes down. But that was the focus that the team needed to find Moon. Now Elimination, Altec on the outside, and it's going to be enough. He looks like he's going to turn down towards home, but Huhi gets a small Valkyrie forward. Everybody's going for aggression on this one. Huhi able to put out a good amount of damage in the fight. Still goes down valiantly, and this one is going the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. Get out the popcorn. You can head to the concession stand and come back on this. We're going to be here for a while. Forget the turret. We're going home.
Tank fight! Fight!
Throw it in his face. Oh, he gave up.
Not quite. Gonna have to just back off there. So 4 for 4. But brilliantly played there by Xmithie. But I actually like the idea that Counterlogic Gaming have now. They're 100 gold up, so it's pretty much even at this point.
Let's see one more time.
This is great.
Hovering.
It's beautiful. Whoop. No shield on Elimination, so
Good kick, double hit.
Straight through high, ends up getting the arrow afterwards. Smithy gets pulled out. Elimination now. It's off on the side, but Moon is the target for Darshan, even though there was a closer target. And this is just well played from CounterLogic Gaming, but that's what you have to watch out for, is these arrows. So Altec's playing around the cooldown of his piercing arrow, and that's the main part of this kit, because he doesn't have the critical strike, because he doesn't have the attack speed. If you're right up in his face, it's actually not a very strong Varus build in team fights. But if he has the time to set up, to poke people down, this is a great sieging build. This is a great build for actually poking people off of turrets or objectives, but in straight up team fights that are being initiated by CounterLogic Gaming, it's not the greatest of Varus builds.
Guardian Angels starting to come out now. CLG has just had quite the influx of gold, and both sides had a bit of gold coming in there. High is practically built up on full items here, looking to get a final one off his Negatron cloak. Minion wave coming up a little too soon there for what Xmithy thought, and the team won't get it engaged on High. Wards, however, are in favor of CLG. They've been pushing them forward. We saw it in middle that FlyQuest haven't even warded their flanks, and that's exactly how Xmithy got in. So small things going to the wayside here are costing FlyQuest, and they're going to lose the top side, and majority of their side of the map, it's going to cost them here to jockey for this fight.
Yep, High going towards the bottom turret. I don't know why there was a ping over there, or why he even went into that side, because now Baron is just going to get started up by CounterLogic Gaming.
All right, we'll scratch our heads later on that one. Chain of Corruption goes out. He's just trying to lock him down. Stixay's on the Baron. Oh, he's got to use the Quicksilver. Gets it off the backside. Moon's going to give him a kiss and fly back out. He says hello. What a play here to start off. And Balls gets to be in the front line, grabbing one of the squishy members. Darshan in the back to get the percent damage from Nether Grasp. And now they have what they need. Moon looking to go over the wall. Can he find it? Void Spikes first. Kind of gets on Balls there, but he's just going to piggyback into the fight. Darshan staying alive as long as possible. Remember the GA. I don't think Fly did. The GA comes back up. Huhi firing from behind over the shoulder of his crew, and he's firing true. Looks like the scrap shield and the rest of the shield
for the arrow.
And the Courage of the Colossus will keep him up. Once again, the tanks are forced to walk away. What bloody fights, but I don't think we're finding the kills that should be solidified here.
Yeah, and we're seeing people die with Summoner Spell's abilities still not being used. This is just so explosive here. Stixay still has his flash available and his arrow, but he never gets the opportunity to really show it off here. So Stixay has to QSS, starts running away, but takes so much damage from just the Baron. He's the last one out of the pit. Moon gets the reset, jumps back out, and now they'll get the Guardian Angel out of Darshan, which is quite big, and the flash forward from Balls to get Aframu, who also still has flash available. Didn't flash that, but he still gets out. And then the kill onto Darshan here, get the Guardian Angel down, hook back onto Aframu, and the Balls comes back up with so much HP as well. Just a long fight. These are long fights.
Do it again. Back to the mid lane, 32 minutes in. The gloves are on. It's not even really a gold lead between these two. It's just a matter of mechanics in the fight. And like you said, Summoner Spells not being left up. Have to use them in those pivotal moments. Huhi just spitting out damage in that last fight, about 3,000. 3,500 more than anybody else in that fight over Altec there.
Yeah, but you can see Stixay pretty much got nothing in that fight. Just 95 damage. Which is pretty much like he hit Baron or something, and Runans did one hit for him or something.
He
very,
got locked
very minimal.
up right next to the Baron.
Yeah.
There's one thing you don't think about in the scatter, right? Your positioning always matters, and usually you don't get caught at Baron, but when the team peels out faster than the communication is, it causes some problems.
Well, also as an AD carry, usually you want to be in the back, and when your team is fighting bottom side of the Baron pit, well, that leaves you kind of in the Baron's way. And who's going to tank it for you? The non-tanky support, the Lee Sin who wants to jump in there and engage. The Maokai is sure as hell not going to do it. He needs to be in the front line.
Muramana finished up. Altec spitting out some good damage himself.
Looking for a pick.
Continue to do so. Top side, we're looking at Xmithy now. Quickly QSS that one away. Not too long of a cooldown. Probably waiting a little bit as well for Darshan to get that GA back. They probably won't hesitate on a pick that looks good, but would rather take it with it up. Darshan walking into this one, didn't really move too quick on that. It seems like he might have been looking across the map for maybe some more vision. Xmithy caught on the side, he's got to get back. Goes in, kicks Lemonation, but nobody on the team can get back to Lemon. Xmithy put himself in the frying pan. The rest is CLG on the side as Moon tries to get their attention. It works. Gives the team enough time to back out as well as Huhi goes on an adventure for mid lane farm.
Yep, Moon went for the third evolution of having the upgraded Void Spikes. We've actually been seeing some junglers on Kha'Zix level that twice instead of wings.
Yeah.
Peanut did it a few times, so it's a very powerful ability. When somebody's isolated, it's a 2-second slow. That's 80%. Speaking of being isolated here, Ball's just looking for some Afro move, but no. Oh, but they found him.
Darshan wants it, though.
Darshan's level 17. He is a beast right now. He's the highest level in the game.
15 of the other tank in the game. So this is why Darshan is actually, he's the front line anyways, but able to stay alive so long for his team to reassess the fights, figure out what to do. 6A still has an arrow, waiting for that. Alphamu's disengage is down at the moment. Stranglethorn is not up, so another thing they may be taking a breather for.
So Altec needs to keep poking out Stixay or Aframu or even Huhi from these fights before they start.
Yep.
As he gets that chunk on, but you can see the Ashe has the Warlord's Bloodlust and he'll heal up a little bit off those creeps as well as the Vampiric Scepter in his inventory. Now it's back to sieging between Baron, getting control of the jungle between these two teams, where it's not really much of a gold lead anymore for Fly. The game kind of evened out a bit, but these team fights, if CLG are able to make them explosive and get in and make the fight happen, then they could take it because they have Stixay's damage. But if Fly are able to actually wait a little bit beforehand, get a few pokes onto Stixay, and then obliterate him with an engage from Moon, then it becomes a different fight.
Spell Immune. Elimination still gets the hit. Darshan's in a very bad spot, but he can hang out for a while. Dredgeline goes back, Balls hits the wall, so we'll have that back up a little sooner than usual. Good trade of damage. It's a bit even. I'd say CLG lost a bit more health there, and they even it out between the tanks. Very, very measured in these fights. Nobody can find the hit that they want. And they're fighting within the chokes, too, so if anybody steps out into that river a little too far, you're going down immediately.
Yeah, big thing, though, is they got the flash out of both Altec and Elimination for the flash of Darshan. So when you have those low mobility champions that want to play a little bit forward and then have to flash back when a Maokai comes forward, then that's a big problem here. So now that won't be available for the squishy members of the bot lane for Fly.
Ash Arrow and a few. Stixay pretty far up here, but he feels comfortable. The wards have evened out as well, which are going to slow the teams down here. Now they have to all walk together. There aren't too many here for FlyQuest that go in front of the Baron pit. So CLG is standing in darkness. You can see just behind there, Scrying Orb a little short. Yeah,
might wait on High's
shuts it as well.
High's ulti's almost up, so they don't have to completely face check, but he'll throw it out. There goes Balls.
Balls gets knocked up. First, Xmithy. Oh, Fly high past Xmithy. Has to do the flashing. GA goes down. He has to do the rezzing now. So Xmithy's going to go down here. They focus. He did get the kick down onto Moon. Moon tried to jump out. He hadn't really gotten the jump in, and that's High going down. A lot of the damage right to Altec as well. Huhi trying to fire true. One more over the wall. Finds Altec. That's the double kill. Moon is in his eyes. Darshan will go down, so that means Huhi's going to have to back off here. But fantastic job. Like you said, the mechanics are flying in this fight. Flashes left and right on the targets they want. Coming back up from the GA. Huhi back in as well. Moon onto Afro. Moon takes him down. Turns. Gets away from Darshan. Huhi now trying to crawl his way out of this one. And Darshan, with just enough mana, gives him the twisted advance that he needs to get out with a sliver of health.
Well played from Moon. He actually flashed into point-blank range of Afro to deal damage, but also get the heal off his W. He was a little bit too far. It only heals you when you're really close to the target when it explodes. So this, once again, it's a long fight for him. I don't know how you have a voice after all of these. Absolutely insane. Xmithy comes in, goes a little bit too far there. Doesn't get the kickback on the High, who actually flashes and uses Ghost. And a great ultimate from Altec that locks up everybody in the back line. So while the Guardian Angel's buying time, they're actually not making too much use of it. Huhi, great play to flash forward there, but now Stixay's caught off on the side, gets destroyed by Balls, and then Darshan has just enough mana left to lock up Altec, and they get that kill. And then they get Darshan's Guardian Angel, and then we take a breather, just like that. And then you reset the fight. No, we go!
That's the Fly. That was Fly.
I mean, doing pretty well still. Whew. And yeah, you could see, like, Altec, his damage contribution compared to Stixay's, there's so much pressure on this Ashe, and her effective range compared to the poke of Varus, she's actually done a third of the damage of the Varus this game. So just overall, Altec is triple the damage right now of Stixay. He's doing absolute work with this build, but once again, in team fights, that's where the Ashe will shine. But they have to start the team fights. They have to start them off on the right foot, too, because Xmithy's engage wasn't the best one there.
Elder Drake is alive. We've had it for a while. What do you got?
I was looking at the Serrated Dirk and Altec's inventory, and I was like, what is that going to become? It's Edge of Night for him. So he purchases Edge of Night. This is before it has the 30-second cooldown, and now it's a 45-second cooldown, 10-second spell shield. It's a great alternative from Banshee's Veil or something that you want to actually defend yourself from spells. So he pops it before a fight happens, and now it's on cooldown right now, so he's just walking around with that 10-second spell shield, able to absorb pretty much anything.
High to the bot side. Easy clear here, so we see the strategy. 4-1, they're gonna get the side lane pushed up. I think it's the first time we've really seen this start to happen. The teams have to recuperate. It's been not messy, but the teams have been just going at each other and butting heads. I've been loving it so much. 22-14 here. 36 kills into a 39-minute game, and we're in the mid-turret here.
Yeah, that Elder Dragon went over to Fly. They're able to pick it up. And now they get to have this split push turn on. Whew. I mentioned the Edge of Night. I actually should have mentioned the Elder Dragon a little bit more. So I apologize for that.
No, it's all right.
This is huge because now they actually get to get that bottom turret, rotate, use that Mountain Drake, so now it's a little bit better than it was previously.
Bing, bang, boom.
And now they have all those outer turrets saved for that top one, which is so close to going down. And they have more combat stats. They have about 1 minute and 15 left on this. So why not look towards that Baron? Why not force them to start walking towards you a little bit more and start poking them down? But I think that's a package for Huhi. He's moving quite fast, so yeah, it is. That should be the sound effect.
It's like a triumphant trombone. All right, moving in. Scimitar is now being built out from the Quicksilver stashes as we become almost full in the inventories. This has freed up actually a recipe spot for most of CLG members. The Doran's Blade still for Stixay to be sold out. Close on a pickaxe here for Altec. We're getting to that point, my favorite point in the game, where it just becomes all the mechanics. The items pretty much got you to full stack. And it's how you can use your champion to the max. Landry's finished for the supports as well, so we're getting a good amount of damage. Half HP, over half void spikes come out, don't hit. Darshan is the meat shield in this one, but being slowed. Remember, that burns there from the Elder as they continue to move forward on CLG.
Exactly, they moved them all the way back, but they didn't get any damage onto this minion wave, so this cannon minion walks up. This will be enough for actually take it down.
That Mountain Drake early in the game doing a little bit for him now, as they are able to drop the inhibitor turret very fast.
TP flank from Darshan. He's trying to make a play.
Goodies you want. He could get high immediately, but there's the Zanya's there. Spell shield on Lemon. He's got to think. And he's kind of outthought. He doesn't have a choice to get in, and now he's forced to take 10% of his health, 20, 50%. Darshan's going to go down as he tries to initiate. Fly continued to walk around and see the situation. High goes in, he's gonna be looking for the left. Instant Huhi obliteration. And now he's gonna have another one. Blue card going out all the way down. The damage from the blue takes down Afro-Moo.
And that might be game here. There's 50 seconds on when Huhi comes back up. They don't have a minion wave. They'll try to escort it up, and we'll see what happens because they don't have a lot of time here.
And they're keeping it out of the base.
Side.
Smithy can't even get home right now to find safety on the fountain. He doesn't even have an enhanced back, so he's looking to catch the wave, yes. Stop the minions, give the turrets their armor that they deserve. It's not going to happen. They drop that inhibitor turret in seconds. The Nexus is going to follow as well. Coming up on 42 minutes, Smithy Quicksilver's out of this one as they quickly take down the Nexus once they're inside the base. 26-14 for game one. FlyQuest comes up big.
And FlyQuest, quite impressive. People are waiting for them to turn back into a pumpkin. Is this squad really not that bottom of the standings team? Well, against Counterlogic Gaming in that game one, back and forth, incredibly scrappy, but they come out with the victory. Now they're trying to make a statement. If they can start off 3-0, that is huge for this team.
40 kills in a 42-minute game. I think you saw High do it multiple times. He's like, all right, what was that? Well, we got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fights were great. It was fun to make calls, but that has to be so stressful when you're down so much. Usually in a game, you're always on the map, providing wards, doing things, but when your screen is gray, majority of the game, it feels so much different, and you're anxious to get out there, and we saw it, anxious to fight again. They continue to butt heads.
Yeah, I mean, High got attention right off the bat, right from Moon. Moon starts off the game 3-1 with 2 of those kills being on Huhi in the mid lane. And Huhi, he's talking a little bit about how it's on him to start a lot of these fights right now. And it's just not working out. You're seeing him Valkyrie straight through with the package and then get blown up immediately. So right now it looks like High, he's still calm, cool, collected, the High that we've known, and the High that we love because he's been one of those great American shot callers. And now on the other side, it looks like Afro-Moo needs to step it up a little bit because Huhi is going to need a little more attention to get freed up because he's being proactive, but it's not working out.
Right, we'll have to see what they can do. Even in that match, it seemed like FlyQuest was going so hard, but that inhibitor turret was down in the bot lane as well for FlyQuest. Minions had taken that down, so if CLG had that fight, they were also in FlyQuest base. I can't wait for game 2. For more on that game 1, let's send it over to Dash and Jat.
Thank you very much, Riv. FlyQuest getting that first victory. However, it did not come easily for them. Ooh. Let's talk about this mid lane matchup. Hai versus Uhi. We had centered it rather all around this Corki pick. Lo and behold, CLG does put a lot of priority into securing that for Uhi in the mid lane.
We did our homework on this one. We made the Corki graphic to talk about how they both play it. Hai was better on it. We even mentioned that Hai's had a small champion pool in the past, and CLG might try and deny that.
So here we have.
Lo and behold, they did.
We got the first rotation Corki in for CLG. Of course, the standard red side bans, which do include LeBlanc. But then we see the Syndra and Orianna follow-up testing Hai, saying, what are you going to take into a very safe Corki matchup?
Exactly that. So you just look at all the mid laners. We haven't seen Corki pick this early. Then you saw bans on the second fan of the ban phase. You can see down on the bottom right there, Syndra and Orianna just trying to take all of Hai's options away. And while CLG targeted Hai in the draft phase, once you got into the game, it was Fly really helping out Hai in the mid lane.
Absolutely. So yeah, FlyQuest recognizing the focus that CLG put to the mid lane, they decide to compensate by in-game visitations to the mid lane. Now, this is all pre-10 minutes.
Yeah, so they're level 2 when this happens. They get both summoner spells and a kill because Moon did a very early gank. CLG's like, well, we have to counter, but Hai still had flash, doesn't even have to use it. That counter gank doesn't help that much. And that was kind of the end of the assistance that Huhi would get. This is just Moon running once again for a gank after Hai had actually ganked the bottom lane. He wasn't expecting him, but you can see they're firing down there. Balls, roams, burns the package. It just doesn't end. Moon is sitting on a control ward as Huhi's trying to get back in the lane. And every single one of these was pre-10 minutes.
Yes.
And even with that, Huhi still had a CS lead early on, but you could see that was just the way they fought back and got the power of TF later in the game.
Right, Huhi had a CS lead, but Hai and the rest of FlyQuest had a kill lead at that point. We saw the early kill go over, and of course that unlocked Hai level 6. He goes bottom. We didn't see that clip. Gets a kill down there. Moon also off to a great start on that Kha'Zix. And so here's again, though, where we would say, based on the homework we did, Jat, that FlyQuest has a lead. They're out to a good start. They averaged that 32-minute win time. That didn't happen this time around. So CLG was either able to mount somewhat of a defense or FlyQuest fell apart. Which was it?
It was messy, I think. And FlyQuest they were kind of coming apart at the hinges in a few places because they make a big play, and then even later in the fight, it would kind of all fall apart. We actually have a fight.
Yes, 25 minutes into the game. FlyQuest a little bit overstepping here near the dragon.
And there were a lot of fights like this in the game before it was ultimately decided because they were trading back and forth. And just look at this. Like, FlyQuest jumps in on Darshan, and then CLG says, why don't we go? Hui's committed to the call. He flies in an Ash Arrow, which actually makes it impossible for the Ash Arrow to land because he was ahead of it and he knocks everyone to the side. But he dies almost immediately. And then you get to see FlyQuest looking like they're kind of turning this fight around. They could never really kill Darshan because of the lethality build on Varus, which isn't a great tank killer in one of the reasons. Hai stays alive because of honey fruits, so very slim margins. And you're thinking, okay, FlyQuest has won this 2-1, but it actually looked almost like a good idea. Darshan is low, Xmithy's low, they can get a 4v2. But in stepping back from the queue, he misses his gold card on a Darshan, and Xmithy finishes. And then Xmithy ended up ending this fight with 5 total kills on the game, and CLG kind of got it back. But this was a microcosm of the chaos of this game and how both of these teams really did come to fight. The pick ban stuff was out of the way. Hai got a ton of ganks early on, but then after that, it was just a total bloodbath.
Right, and that's, again, not something that's super characteristic of at least CLG in their, former iterations or just from last year. This is not the team that goes and runs their head against the wall over and over, hoping that eventually they'll break through. So a different look on them this time around. Now, for FlyQuest, again, they're still a newer team, so we're trying to figure out what is their identity. And leading up to today, we would have said, okay, they're getting some solid early leads and they're closing them out. This game showing a bit of a misstep and maybe some shakiness in their ability to close out against slightly better teams.
Yeah, and also whenever you're a shot caller that is as bold as Hai, it's not going to work out every single time. And we saw some bits of that. Interestingly enough, as we just saw the damage chart there, Altec doing 44,000 damage.
Yes.
We mentioned how his build was very lethality heavy and it wasn't great at taking down Darshan's Maokai, but what it was great at doing was getting poke through the Maokai to kill everyone else. And we saw a bunch of fights where everyone was dead except the Maokai, and that's one of the reasons he was able to top the damage charts. Lethality, great at killing other marksmen later in the game.
Absolutely. Did have an interesting path to getting there, though. We saw kind of bits and pieces of items the whole way through, which may have slowed them down a bit. Super early executioners, along with the tier. Of course, we will see what happens when we move into 7.2 as lethality changes will actually take effect, and that Varus build might become even stronger.
Exactly. And I do want to get back to your question earlier, talking about like which FlyQuest turns up and where they turn into a pumpkin.
Right.
Not necessarily, but I will also say that neither of these teams looked great.
Yeah.
There were enough misplays in this game that if one of these teams would have been able to pull back after getting in a lead or not try to blindly, at one point, Aframu and Stixay tried to like 2v1 with nothing in Fog of War and they ended up just both dying very early on. So those were kind of gifts to FlyQuest and they still didn't have a super clean game.
Right, player of the game is going to High in the mid lane, so off the Corki, but on to the TF, still has the ability to affect the map with a little bit of help, or maybe a lot of help.
A lot of help.
From the team.
But that's the weird thing with High, you know, because he actually takes that help and he pays it forward.
Right.
Twisted Fate's the perfect champion to do that on. He gets a small advantage in lane, bottom lane, kill, top lane, kill, split push, kill. And then even in team fights late in the game, still very effective.
All right, we had a mid-game focus game 1. What do you expect to see in game 2?
I actually expect them to continue to try and target High because even though High got about 17 ganks before 10 minutes, he still wasn't a super person for like super taking over the game. CLG just got to do a better job executing what they did. And Aframu and Stixay have to take it easy a little bit. They've gotten smashed in almost every early game this year.
Absolutely, although I will say slight bright spot for CLG was Darshan in the top lane. CS lead and a solid scoreline on that Maokai. Haven't seen him show up so much recently. Maybe this is his time. We have to step away for a break, but when we come back, we jump into game 2 of FlyQuest versus CLG. Don't touch that browser. North American LCS. We'll be right back.
Anime is so stupid.
Wait, you include like
that too.
It's so stupid.
He said shame on weebs.
Ooh, that is a whole lot of damage. Feeling the pain through the screen. Moon getting caught up in the slalom of the minions. One last attack goes down valiantly, but that...
Nice.
No.
Bears.
Yeah.
Nice. Bears is dead.
Okay.
Nice. I'm going. Trigger.
Okay.
Get this guy.
Yeah, you got it.
They're low in the back. I can't Cue the backline.
Yeah.
Cue the backline.
Go down.
Hey, Hui. They're low. You guys, Corky. Hit him. Watch the W.
Oh, he's got to use the Quicksilver. Gets it off the backside. Moon's going to give him a kiss and fly back out. He says hello. He has to do the rezzing now. So Xmithy's going to go down here. They focus. He did put the kick down onto Moon. Moon tried to jump out. He hadn't really gotten the jump in, and that's High going down. A lot of the damage right to Altec as well. Huhi trying to fire true. One more over the wall. Finds Altec. That's the double kill.